Calum, your thoughts on tonight's game?
Really disappointing result, really below par performance. An outstanding goal wins it, unbelievable strike, and it's happened to us here against Hereford last year, but we've not played well enough this evening. We were off colour and really disappointed with the second half performance. Up first half we did enough, probably not well enough, but did enough, and realistically really disappointed in the second half. As much as the goals will look like late goals, I thought we were on the back foot, and it's quite right that the ball went in our net in the second half.
You scored from a penalty. It could easily have been 2-0 at the break, couldn't it? Kev Roberts having a chance closer.
Yeah, we've come out in the opening 8 games on the wrong side of fine margins. I've talked about it 2 or 3 games ago. That's the reality. You think about, and I don't mean this in an absurd sense, of course games don't stop in the 80th minute. If we'd have been better in the last 10 minutes plus added of today's game, of the Spennymoor game, of the Scarborough game, we have 1, 3, 6 more points. And the fine margins at the start of the season really matter, because everything's really emotive at the start of the season. Everyone wants to get off to the right start. The margins are so small because you have such a small sample size of points, and that's why 8 points in 8 games isn't good enough. And that only reflects, when you've got players as good as ours, when they've shown how good they can be, that only reflects on the manager.
And they sat in, trailing by a goal to nil, made a couple of substitutions, and then their intensity really increased, didn't it?
We talked that you got the feeling they blocked central areas. They defended really well, and I've said it before. We've got to be better and rise to the expectation that's around us. We have to. It's not something we can choose to do or not to. We have to. It's essential, all of us. I thought they defended really well. They defended central areas, and they went back to change, and we had to tweak. But like I said, we did enough in the first half. In the second half, we didn't get enough of the moments that make us us. So yeah, they troubled us when they changed shape. We changed shape accordingly. I think what's really frustrating for me is, yeah, the winner is an unbelievable goal, but we had the ball in our hands 9 seconds beforehand. The first goal is horrific, absolutely horrific.
Yeah, down the left, then across to the right, etc.
Well, you've got to defend your 18-yard box better than that. Like I keep saying, I can't say things to you when things are going well and then say the opposite when things aren't going well. It reflects only when you've got a squad that are as good as ours on me, and I've got to rightly come and speak to you and probably have a little bit of criticism and have a little bit of criticism for the outside. No problem there. I talked about there being moments of adversity, and the start that we've had over the opening 8 games isn't good enough. I don't think we were good enough tonight. I think we've been good in the home games previously. I think we've got to adjust to the mentality where everyone wants to beat us. We aren't going to be the underdog. We aren't going to have an the world against us, odds against us story. We finished 3rd in the league last year, and the aspiration is to be there or thereabouts again. We aren't in a title race. We never were. We won't be for the rest of this season. That's us. But we want to be a side that gets promoted, and that means finishing the top 7, and 8 points from 8 games isn't good enough. If we do that in the next 8 games and the 8 games after that, we'll give ourselves too much to do. So I think we need to reflect. I need to reflect and understand that start isn't good enough.
Saturday you play another team that I think it's fair to say will probably be there or thereabouts in the top 8 at the end of the season, Blythe Spartans.
Great start for them, one of the best footballing sides in the division. You saw that when they came here on the Friday night. I thought we were very good when we went there. For us, it's about us, and we've got to be better now. Our start at home has now been okay. What's really frustrating is we played well in patches on Saturday without possession. We defended well, we looked solid in what we want to be away from home. Well, we've undermined, that's no longer a good point. We've won 1, we've drawn 1, we've lost 1. We can't do that all season. The expectations are higher, quite rightly, and the talent at my disposal is better. And I'm well aware the start hasn't been good enough. So Saturday is the next opportunity to try and turn that round, and we've got to be ready for the fight. I stood here and spoke to you after the Kings Lynn game and said we need to fight. That isn't something I say after a win. That is everyone, and that is players on the pitch, on the bench, in the stand. As a group, we've developed a reputation that we worked very hard for, and the results are letting that down at present, and that is a real source of disappointment.
Yesterday you brought a loanee in, Tom Sparrow. What does he bring to the squad, to the group?
We need to add some quality. we've done that in recent weeks, been pleased. The loan market's important at this level as much as they're younger players. You've seen that last season, Harry Tyra, Charlie Caton, Reece Hughes, even Elliot Whitehouse, Kelly Namai. If you know that those players are out there, even before my time here, Marcus Dackers was the top goal scorer in a season where he only played a third of it. Rob Apter, who's now playing his football in the EFL. You've got to be brave enough to have these loan players, and we need to add, we're also not in the market where we can go and spend what other clubs can. That's a terrible thing to say, but it's true. It's been the case right the way through, and it's been really, really difficult this summer trying to plan and move stuff around on that basis. So I'm pleased what we brought in. Tom gives us, in those defensive centre midfield positions across the back line, more, because on Saturday we had 4 defenders available, and we brought Adam Thomas on to play at right back for the last 10 minutes plus added. Tonight we've obviously had Liam Edwards on the bench, we've used them 4 again. Joel Taylor's out injured. We aren't largely stocked with those bodies. I think what we did look tonight is, I won't use the word tired, we didn't have what we usually have physically, where we're able to run on top of teams and threaten, and I've got to look at that. But I'd be really disingenuous if I came out here and said to you, yeah, let's just talk about the 90 minutes. Let's talk about the start to the season and the 8 games, because 8 points isn't good enough now. I can say to you, there's late goals, that's on us. I can say to you, we haven't put the ball in the net and taken chances, that's on us. When it's on us, it always lands on me.
Cal, thanks for talking to us.